anyone that strives for the mastery. The Bible says he is temperate in all things. We will come to it. Today is Feast of Victory. He is temperate in all things. Temperate in all things. Anybody that is trying to become a master, anyone that is trying to attain to excellence, anyone that is trying to be on the top of his game, anyone that wants to be at the cutting edge of his field, anyone that wants to make a real mark, the Bible says people who strive for mastery, they are temperate, not in many things, in all things. In all things. So they will put themselves under. There are disciplines, there are routines, there are practices. Are you there? That they observe. And they observe them routinely. If you like, you can say they observe them religiously. Religiously. And you need to understand the routine that is necessary in order for you to prosper in the line of the ability that God is giving to you. Some of you have had dreams, so you have had dreams, and you've seen yourself, you were signing checks, you were signing contracts, and manager after manager was coming, and all of them, they were your companies. You say, okay, and then you are sitting down in the chairman's boardroom, and you have seen yourself. And some of you, every time that you look at people, you say, they don't know where I'm going. They don't know where I'm going. They don't know where I'm going. And you are not going anywhere. Hey, they don't know where I'm going. Let them just wait. They don't know where I'm going. So when they say you should go and volunteer in an organization, say, how much are they going to pay? They say, well, just give you stipend like 60K for your transfer. I say, no, that's not what I saw. That's not what I saw. That's not what I saw. They don't know where I'm going. Hey, they don't know where I'm going. All right? Okay. Come and learn. What is the need for me? There are times that you will need to go to certain places. You will need to go and walk. And the fact that they give you opportunity to walk is a payment. That you're even allowed into the space to come and walk. And people who know what they are doing, there are people, I've met a few people who were applying for opportunities to work in a place where they will not be paid, not even stipend of any sort. They just want to be able to come there and participate in what goes on in that place, gain some experience, and have the opportunity also of now having it on their resume that they actually worked in this space. There's a generation now that says, I didn't come into this world to come and labor for anybody. I didn't come into this world to come and labor for anybody. You will find out that you labor for nothing. You didn't come to labor for anybody. When God gives you power to make wealth, you will need to use that power, that ability. You will need to convert it. You will need to improve on it. You will need to process it and make sure that it becomes its best. In fact, it cannot be its best as long as you live. So it just keeps getting a better version of itself. You need to hone whatever ability it is that God is giving to you. In the spiritual angle, remember Paul was telling Timothy to fan to flame. Fan to flame. Fan to flame. Was telling him to fan to flame. To fan to flame. Because it is one thing for you to receive a deposit. What you do with that deposit is quite a different thing. And as it is spiritually, that is how it is in other aspects of life. That there are things that God gives to men sovereignly by his providence. That gift alone means that all things being equal, you have a future in that area. But it is not automatic. God gives you power to make wealth. You will need to engage that power in order to eventually make the wealth. And in order for you to engage that power beautifully, you will also need to attend to it. You will need to tend it. You will need to groom, beautify the skill. God is calling you into business, maybe. But You just believe that it's your calling, is your calling. So when you get into business, you are going to do great in business. It doesn't work that way. If God calls you into business, you need to start from someplace. And some persons, there are people that are just waiting for, their first 10 million, their first 100 million, so that they can start. I told you the other day that there are people who we always say, oh, that time I was young and stupid. The reason why they were young and stupid, and they are telling you, is so that you will not be young and stupid. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You don't need to go through the same terrible experiences and make the same mistakes that those who have gone ahead of us have made. And one of those mistakes is not wanting to start small. Not wanting to start small. If we, I don't know how we might get there. If you ask people now to write a business proposal, what can you do? There was a time we tried it. I can't remember what was the limit we used, whether it was 100K that time or 200, I don't remember again. There were people that did not submit anything because it was not within the scope of how much money was required to do the vision that God had laid on their heart. Don't worry. You are not aware that if you have not been able to prove faithfulness in that which is little, there is no basis for a committal of that which is much. So, wherever you are, whoever you are, one thing I need you to understand is that everyone under the sound of my voice, God is giving you ability. God is giving you an ability.